around we have the Impact Blue Sileighty as the 1988 Chevy Monte Carlo. My reasoning for this car is basically just the shape of it. Boxy shape. It's pretty much the rules for this series. There's three main ones. The cars have to be from a US manufacturer, not from the US, like US made, US manufacturers. There's a couple cars throughout the series that are made by US manufacturers but never got offered on the US market. A couple of Fords. So there's that. And then my mind's blanking. Oh yeah, second rule. Mid S1 class, same as it was with the original Initial D series, and when we did what if Initial D was set in the modern day. So, what was the other? Oh yeah, the last rule is that cars cannot have like any engine swaps or conversions unless explicitly stated in the show, but there is a couple exceptions with some of the older cars, such as this one, because this is one of them, where the stock engine couldn't really get enough power and it couldn't really get that mid S1 to keep up with the other cars, so I kind of had to swap in a different engine just so it could keep up. So pretty much what we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you guys how to make it look the way it looks, then build, tune, and take it down the mountain pass. So for this color, it's a custom color that I made. It's the same color that I put on the other times that we did Impact Blue. So you want to go to Special Colors, scroll on down till you get to the Metal Flake, which is green. You want to hit the Dual Color Fine Tune button. So for the low light, the hue you want 63, saturation 1, and brightness 27. And for the highlight, hue 64, saturation 1, and brightness 35, or 35. So that'll give you this blue color. Then I believe everything else is completely stock, except for the black windows. Now moving on to the upgrade. So that car's pretty easy to make as far as looking the way it does. Starting with conversions, you have the 6.2 liter V8 engine, stock rear wheel drive, and stock naturally aspirated. As far as aero goes, stock front bumper. I did put the race wing on it just to give it a little like, well, I guess Impact Blue in the show does have a duck tail. Maybe that's why. I built this car like a month and a half ago. Maybe that's why I put that there. And then the stock hood. And as far as the tires, I went with the vintage race tire compound because I wanted like that old school NASCAR sort of feel for some reason. It doesn't look bad with the blue, so I wanted the yellow letters. If you don't want the yellow letters, then go with the semi-slick race tire compound. And with that, you could do the red lines, you could do the white letters, or you could do the black walls. I know it drops the performance points, but it doesn't really make a difference on how the car drives. I tested it. And for the width, you want the stock 215mm in the front and the 265s in the back. For the wheels, I believe these are multi-piece. Yes, they are. They're the BBS E55s. Then for the track width, you want the upgraded, like the narrowest one, narrowest upgrade. Then you want the widest one you can get in the back. Moving on to the drivetrain, you want the race clutch, race transmission, race driveline, and drift differential. Heading on over here, you want the race brakes, race suspension, race front anti-roll bars, race rear anti-roll bars, no roll cage, and race weight reduction. You want the race intake, race manifold, race fuel system, race cams, race exhaust, whoops, apparently race exhaust again, race ignition, race valves, race block, race pistons, race flywheel, and finally race oil and cooling. Moving on over to the tune. For the performance, the tire pressure, you want 24 in the front, 28 in the rear, or 28.5 in the rear, my bad. Gearing 2.20 final drive, the rest is stock. Alignment for the camber, negative 0.8 in the front, negative 0.4 in the rear. For the toe, you want positive 1.7 outward in the front and negative 0.7 inward for the rear. Front caster angle of 4.0. Anti-roll bars, 24.7 in the front, 17.2 in the rear. Springs, 629.5 in the front, 449.0 in the rear. Ride height is 8.0 in the front, 7.8 in the rear. Rebound, or for damping, then the rebound you want 6.9 in the front, 6.3 in the rear. Bump, you want 4.5 in the front, 1.5 in the rear. Arrow, leave it stock. Braking, you want 55% balance towards the front and 70% pressure. Finally, the differential, you want 70% acceleration, 25% deceleration. Now let's take it on over to the mountain pass. So what we're going to do is we're going to go from this point about here to the bottom. Yep. So a couple things I want to say before we get going. First, this is not a drift car, it just kind of has the capability to drift, same as all the other initial D cars I made. So I don't really go off of the drift score, kind of, yeah, it doesn't mean anything in this situation. Secondly, oh yeah, my mind blanked out. So secondly, the point of this part is basically to show you guys how the car handles, how it drives, how it performs, stuff like that. And third, like I said earlier, I haven't driven this car in like a month and a half. So, probably not my best performance as far as driving. Let's get into it. I tried to drift that corner, but I was in the wrong gear and it just wouldn't do it. A little bit wide there, but we're good. Once again, a little bit on the wide side, but we're good. Probably should have downshifted in that corner, but I didn't. And just like that, we're at the bottom. So without further ado, let's do some donuts. That's how we end off all the videos around here. Road's a little on the narrow side. These are very disappointing donuts. Let's go over here where we got a little more room. Oh no, Jeep. Alright, I guess that'll have to do. So with all that being said and done, thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you in the next video, and that is all from me today. No, I don't want to do a danger zone.